Hello, everybody. I'm going to try this again. So much for the new program, working first time, but there we go. Hope anybody's on that's listening. If there is, can you please tell me if the sound and the picture's okay? Oh, well, it doesn't look as if anybody's joining in, which is hardly surprising because, as I say, it was really just a trial basis. I thought, let's give it a wee go because we've never done this before. But anyway, so let's see how it goes. If anybody is on, please can you stick something on the chat page? I've got my iPad next to my MacBook here, and it'll give me an idea whether you can hear me and whether the picture's okay. If you're there, thank you, Anne Marie. No sound, Prash. Anne Marie, can you hear me okay? Okay, sound good. Thanks, Prash. Brilliant. Thanks for joining in, all three of us. It feels like a wee intimate discussion here. But as I say, I don't know if you heard me earlier on, it's really just an idea as to whether all the systems are working. As I say, new sound a bit low my end. Okay, thanks, Anne Marie. I'll try and turn this up a wee bit. It's really experimental, so thank you all for being with me. I really appreciate this. So let me see if I can adjust the sound levels a wee bit. Normally it's everybody says that I speak too loud, so it's nice to hear somebody saying it's actually not very loud. How's it? Is that any better, Anne Marie? Sounds still a bit low. Right, let me see if I can adjust this. As I say, it's a wee bit experimental, so please just bear with me. Bear with me until we can juggle it about. Hi, Neil. Thanks for joining me. As I say, it's very impromptu, but hopefully, let's see. Is that any better sound wise, guys? I've turned some stuff up on the program. Thanks for joining me, Neil. Appreciate it. Sounds all good. Super. Thanks very much, Neil. As I said to everybody before, this is really just a wee bit of an experiment. I've never done a live before. David, very low sound volume. Oh dear. Well, actually, I've turned the microphone up to basically much better. Thanks, Prash. I've turned the microphone up as high as this will go. It's now up at 98%, and I don't want it to distort too much, but anyway, it's much better. Thanks, Anne Marie. I'm glad you can hear me. I'll have, as I say, I'll have a wee experiment with it and see if I can get it better because it is really an experiment to see if anybody joined me. I wasn't expecting anybody to join me because it was such a late idea, but I just installed the program and everything about half an hour ago. If anybody's got any questions, please ask. I'll be more than happy to answer anybody that's on. And thanks, Prash, for joining me. Thanks, Anne Marie. As always, Anne Marie's there with support for everybody. It's appreciated by me and so many others. I know that, and you, David, of course. Neil's just asked, are you definitely going to Tenerife next March, mate? I am definitely going to Tenerife next March, Neil. It's all booked. Flights are all booked. Hotels all booked. I think we head out on the 9th of March. So, be catching up hopefully with a lot of you then. We missed out this year basically because probably some of you know, but it was my 65th birthday on the 16th of March, and the family had something, well, surprise, but I knew about it, so, something organised, so that's why we didn't come out this year. Oh, can you hear me on the TV now? That's great. Thanks, David. Appreciate that. Thanks for joining as well. I know you just got back, Prash. I've been working such long hours out at the Open, obviously getting everything ready. I'm slowly catching up on everybody's vlogs, and I've got round to watch a couple of yours, Prash, but I'll get onto them. Oh, Jeezy, nice. Thanks. Thanks, Jazzy, for coming in. Appreciate that, mate. How's things with you? Hope all is well. As I said, I don't know if you saw me what I said earlier on Tim's broadcast tonight, but today was such a miserable day. I had three sets of wetsuits, wet clothing, dry clothing on, and it was an absolute bedlam. I am a golfer, Neil, not as much as I used to be. I've actually got carpal tunnel in my right hand, which affects my grip. I used to play a lot, but now it's very, very limited. And I've found, um, especially in the cold, it's more difficult to grip the club. So there you go. It must be a reason for going to Tenerife permanently. Thanks, Anne Marie. I'm glad you enjoyed some of the Rona Grand videos. I must admit, it's one of Anne and I's favourites. We've been going now on and off, and we really, really enjoy it. So I'm glad you enjoyed the videos. When you're doing them, you never know if anybody's going to enjoy them, but hopefully you have. So that's great. Thank you so much. Master starts tomorrow. Scotty Scheffler to win. Well, I think he's the form guy. If it's the trouble is, Neil, not to bore everybody else about golf, is the fact is that we don't know how the live players are going to play because they haven't been playing 4 rounds. They've only been playing 3 rounds, so it'll be interesting. But I don't. They're too good at golfers to count them out. If anybody's got any other questions, just bung them down, and I'll get round to them hopefully. But I'm glad this is all working out. As I say, it was really just an experiment. You're staying there from the 10th of March, Anne Marie. Surprise, surprise. I think we both knew that, but that's brilliant. That's absolutely brilliant. I look forward to meeting up, and we should be able to get a few vlogs done together when we're there. And that includes you, Neil, because I know you're going to be there, so that'll be great. It's funny, actually, me talking into this because there's no, obviously, I can't put any sound because there would be a feedback on this side. Thanks, Prash. I must admit, it was one of these things. I got the program installed and I thought, well, listen, you need to try it, so let's try it. I just had a wee WhatsApp from Kevin, who's in Budapest. You know, Kevin, Scotsman in Tenerife, and the weather's 21 degrees. And I told him what we'd been through here today, and I must admit, kind of jealous. Yes, agreed, David. Enough's enough. I think they do. There needs to be some kind of peace made so everybody gets a tournament where the best golfers are playing. I totally agree. I totally agree. But it just shows you how money talks. I mean, you would think that pro golfers, the amount of money that they do make, it wouldn't make any difference, but obviously does. I mean, it's ridiculous. Kidney scan on Friday and radiation Thursday. Well, for a month, Neil. Well, listen, I'm sure myself and everybody watching here wishes you all the very best. If anybody deserves total remission, it's you, pal. And I find personally your vlogs so interesting. So keep up the good work, Neil. We're all with you. I'm sure everybody that's on here tonight will say exactly the same thing. Sorry about that, folks. I was leaning over to my iPad because I didn't want anything coming on while I was talking to you. Yes, sentiment those comments entirely, Anne Marie. Wishing you all the very best. So I'm really surprised there's actually 6 watching, which is absolutely fantastic. I know it's not a lot, but Rome wasn't built in a day, and as I say, I did this at the last minute. So thank you all for joining in. I really, really do appreciate it. And hopefully, when the weather improves, we can maybe get out in the garden and do a wee live from the garden, or even I can get usually a good reception just down on the beach, so even that would be quite good, just for a wee change. Sorry about that, folks. Somebody was trying to get me from the university, so I'll just put them on the back burner just now. Pleasure, Neil. We're all with you, all praying. Prash, are you still on? Have you got any more trips planned? That's fine, Prash. Gonna get my beer you left in the freezer. I hope it's not a screw top and it's still back on. Well, listen, you enjoy your beer, Prash. Appreciate you just dropping in. It's been very, very kind of you, mate. All the best and love to mum. I bet it has, Neil. It certainly would give you a lift the fact that it's been so popular. I was noticing your figures are really shooting up. Good for you. You off to Wales next week? Good for you, Prash. Yeah, Anne Marie, it's something I've thought about because I was actually hopefully when sort of settled in at the golf, the Wi-Fi has gonna be uplinked hopefully by this weekend, and I was gonna actually try and do something from there. An airplane special edition near the airport. I can certainly try that, Jassy. As you know, I'm working at Royal Troon just now, and we're right on the flight path into Prestwick. In fact, it was quite funny. About 3:15, I got a wee alert on Flight Radar 24, and I noticed when I was looking across towards where the runway lights are, I noticed the lights came suddenly on, and usually that means about 15 minutes is going to be a landing. And guess what? It was the flight coming back from Tenerife, which is the one I usually get back, and it's not the most pleasant of things when you're coming into Prestwick and it's howling gales and pouring rain. But I must admit, I would quite like to have been going back out on that flight today. Yes, Anne Marie, we are heading to Arona Gran, would you believe, on the 9th of October for 14 days. Evening, Steve. Evening, Denise. Thanks, John. You've got the Kalima. We were what Tim was saying that it might miss you, but you've actually got it. Where is the British Open this year? It could be at Royal Troon, actually, Neil. Funny you should mention that. I know you've said that tongue in cheek, pal. Nice to see you on, Denise and Steve. That's wonderful you joining me, especially as it's been done at the last minute. I really do appreciate it. As I said, I'm not going to make this a long drawn out thing. I just wanted to check the software and everything that I uploaded was all working. So the fact that you've taken your time out of your evening to join me, it's really appreciated. Anne said she's going to make an appearance one of these days. She's not that comfortable in front of a camera, but hopefully she's going to make an appearance with me one day. We'll do it both together, and you can ask her how she puts up with me. I was hopeful that you were going to miss the Kalima again, Steve, but obviously not. What's the longest hole at Troon, Neil? 570 yards. Yes, I think for the tournament it's going to be about something in the region of 584 from the back tees, but that will depend on a lot on the prevailing wind conditions. Um, it's quite funny. It's got the record as having the shortest and the longest holes in championship golf. Obviously, the shorter ones, the postage stamp, which is going to have some interesting cameras at it this year. Hopefully, if they can get it to work. Good evening, Brent. Thanks for joining me. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much for that lovely comment that you enjoyed the New Year vlogs. The trouble is, I made so much film at New Year because basically what I did was I had my camera on a tripod and I just let it run. It was very difficult to edit the good bits because it was there was so many good bits at New Year at Rona Gran. It really, really was a wonderful experience. We've been away before at New Year. We used to have a holiday house up in the north of Scotland in Carbridge, which is just north of Aviemore, and we always used to go up there for New Year, which was special because I still ski quite a bit. So that was brilliant. But I must admit, the Rona Gran was really, really special. It was a very, very stunning atmosphere with the whole thing, the fireworks, the band outside. It just made it wonderful. But appreciate you saying that. It's nice to hear comments about that. I know everybody does on the vlogs, but I really do appreciate it. I appreciate everybody. And I started this channel. We were at 24 subscribers for I don't know for months and months and months, and thanks to some friends on here, it shot up. It's now at 825 today, so we haven't got much to go to hit the 1,000. Good evening, JJ. Thanks for joining me on this Weave Live. Appreciate it, mate. That David, it's quite funny that the postage stamp. You stand up in the tee and it's a flick with a wedge, and you think, "Oh, this is," and it causes so much trouble. It's unbelievable. I find this actually quite surreal that I'm chatting away, you're commenting, obviously, but there's no actually sound feedback. It's strange. It's something obviously doing it regularly you'd get used to. Like I know Col, he's very good at his lives, so hopefully with a bit of practice I'll be able to join them as well. He's gonna got me be able to tush you in your succession YouTube. Prash so kind. If you were standing here, I would get you the beer, mate. Thank you, JJ. In fact, I was actually going to ask if anybody would object to being a mod if I do more lives. So that's lovely. Thank you very much. I will certainly do that, and probably Anne Marie and David as well. And Anne Marie, it'll be my pleasure to introduce you to the lovely staff. Most of them are quite regulars, so hopefully they'll be there. I don't know. Did you tell me? Are you going? Are you staying in the hotel, or are you doing the up, Anne Marie? Perhaps you'll be able to let me know that. That'd be great. But anyway, I will get it sorted. In fact, I was saying to Anne, I usually have a word with our senior, the maitre d', and he always sorts us out a lovely table. So I'd be more than happy if you and David would like to join us at dinner. If it's suitable, you might be going out and about, but certainly for a few of the nights we are there, it'd be wonderful if you could join us just for some chat. That'd be good. Thank you, Prash, and thank you again, Anne Marie. Honestly, your support's tremendous. Thanks so much, everybody, for joining. I have a no BS policy. Yeah, I'm sort of with you on that, Prash. Evening, Terry. Thanks for joining us. Evening, Steve. Is there more courses? I played golf there once. Right. Well, Neil, if I told you, within from where I'm sitting at home just now in the upstairs lounge, and mainly to give Anne peace to watch the television. Um, Courses within a 7 mile radius. We've got Western Gales, Glasgow Gales. Although it's called Glasgow Gales, it's a subsidiary of the Glasgow Golf Club. They've got two courses, one in Glasgow called Killiman, and one down here, which is the Gales course. So we've got Western Gales, Glasgow Gales, Dundonald, Barassi, which I'm a member at. We've got three municipal courses in Troon: Lochgreen, the Darley, and the Fullerton. Then you've got Royal Troon. Then you've got Portland, which is a part of Royal Troon, and then just a mile away from Royal Troon. In fact, you'll see probably from the shots on the television, you've got Prestwick, where the first Open was ever played, and you've got St Nicholas and St Cuthbert's, all within a 7 mile radius. So it's really quite a golfing community. Thank you, JJ. Appreciate that. I'm trying to keep up with the questions as I'm going along. Hopefully, I haven't missed any. Oh, sorry, my iPad's just clicked on there. Brent, that's a difficult question because it comes down to a lot of budgets and things like that. If I told you that when the first time Anne and I went to Rona Gran, we didn't even know the Up existed, and somebody said, "Do you want to come up and have a look?" So we had a look, and we looked round and everything. So we thought, well, we're here for another, I think it was another 6 or 7 days at that time. We were there for 10 days. So we said we'd try it for 2 days. We tried it for 2 days and we just booked it for the rest of the trip. And every time we've been back to Rona Gran, we've always gone in the Up. It might not be everybody's cup of tea, to be honest with you. I mean, it's horses for courses with a lot of these things. And but we love it up there. We really do, and we get treated like royalty, so that's nice. Fullerton, yep, that's one of the municipal courses, Steve. It's the shorter, the two municipal courses. There's two past seven, one past 70, one past 72, and the Fullerton's are 64. And it's funny, when I was growing up in Troon, we moved back to Troon when I was 14, and you had a season ticket for the three municipal courses because in those days it was Troon Borough, and my season ticket was £11 for the year for the three season tickets for the three courses. Absolutely wonderful. Any recommendation for websites, Jazzy? Yes, I always book direct with the hotel, and the hotel will also arrange flights for you. Um, I have got an account with Ryanair, so I tend to go from Prestwick, which is only 10 minutes from me, to Tenerife because I always get a great deal with Ryanair. So I tend to just book the hotel direct. The other thing with booking the hotel direct is they will give you a free taxi if it's over 7 days to and from the airport to the hotel. And the great thing about that is when you arrive, you go up to the taxi desk, you pre-book it, you say, "My name's Alan Gebby, I'm going to the Rona Gran," and you go straight out the door and they call over the first taxi and you don't have to wait in any queues. Yes, the Rona Gran is very suitable for wheelchair access, JJ, and in fact it's one of the better ones because it's relatively flat, and when you can actually go out the back door, we call it the back door of the Rona Gran, it takes you down onto the promenade, and there's actually a wheelchair lift to get you up and down from the Lido level, and there's plenty of ramps throughout the hotel. I would say it's very suitable. There is a lot of people that go to the Rona Gran that are mobility issues, and they certainly have various things. They have their buggies and they all get around very, very easily. Good evening, Scott. I enjoyed your Masca trip. It gave me back memories from when Anne and I went on the boom trikes to Masca. What a beautiful trip that was. The scenery's fantastic. Thanks, Neil. Listen, I appreciate you so much for joining in. Thank you. As I say, this was done at the last minute, and thank you so much for joining me, Neil. And listen, we're wishing you and all the best in your upcoming treatment. Hope it goes all according to plan. Thanks, Neil. Yep, evening, Scott. Certainly, when I'm doing a moderator on a channel, I will put in a link to your channel as I have done everybody. Good evening, Marie. Nice for you to join me. Thank you so much. As I say, this you've probably didn't hear me earlier on, but this is a wee experiment because we've got new software on my laptop, so I was just making sure that it works out. But I'm really quite startled that so many folk have joined in. It's really, really, really appreciated. Prash, I love cooking Indian food myself. When um, I was younger and I was when I worked in banking, I was actually sent away to help out in a branch that was struggling for 6 months, and I actually lived above an Indian restaurant, and the guys used to invite me down to the kitchen to help them cook, so I learned quite a fair bit from these guys. Yep, agree with you, Scott. The views are tremendous. The day we went, you could actually see right over to La Palma and La Gomera, so it was worth it just for the views. But Masca itself is absolutely stunning. It really is. And you can't believe that people walked all the way up that gorge to make the settlement there. Yes, I did Prash. Loved it. Got a few tips as well. Say hi to Supermum. What software I'm using to go live? I'm actually using Ecamm, and you get a 10-day free subscription with it to try it out. And I've got it on my MacBook Air, and it's really quite straightforward. Well, it need to be for an idiot like me. I'm just saying if I hopefully I haven't missed any comments from anybody. If I have, please forgive me. As I say, it's the first time doing this. I'm trying to sort of look at yourself and have the eye contact, and also have a look on my iPad as to the message. Thank you, JJ. I think most people will be subs on here, but anyway, I appreciate it. Hi, Ian at home for a very wet Dundee. Well, it is, Ian, because they couldn't get the Rangers game going tonight, I noticed, because of the pitch. It's been hammering it down all day here as well, Ian. It's been absolutely, it's disgusting, in fact, to be honest with you. It is so unseasonal just now. I don't know if you, because I live in the west coast and we're right at the sea, if you get an Atlantic low, we've got nothing between us and virtually North America. And if you've got an Atlantic low, they tend to act like a conveyor belt, and they just keep feeding another one and another one. And this is, we need to have a real big high pressure to come up in the south to get rid of this spell we're in just now. What are we up to then, Alan? The view. What's the plans? Well, there's no real plans at the moment, Scott. To be honest with you, because I'm committed to be at Royal Troon until probably the last week in August when the D rig finishes from the Open. So I'm really sort of committed to that right the way through. But then Anne and I will be heading out to Tenerife on the 9th of October. And I think hopefully we'll meet up with your mum and dad there, if Steve and Denise are still on, and we'll catch up with a few folk then. And you feel as if you know people on here, that you've talked to them that much, but you've never actually met, so it'll be great to catch up. Got to go. Thanks, JJ. Listen, I so appreciate it, mate. Thank you for joining. Really, really appreciated. Weather terrible in Wigan. Well, Marie, it's. I think actually it seems to just be the north of Britain that's suffering just now, because Neil was on earlier on. He says it's lovely in Norfolk. Mind you, my mother's from Galston on Sea, which is in Norfolk, and she says that the weather's always better down there. Yes, agreed, David. I think the wind chill makes it feel much colder. That'd be great if you could make it back this year, Scott. It'd be great to meet up. And I'm looking so much forward to meeting Anne Marie and David when we get over in March. That'll be wonderful. Well, give Mum Super my love, Prash, and tell her get the cooking blogs on. Well, if anybody hasn't got any more questions that I'd be happy to answer, I want to really, really thank everybody for joining me on this first tryout of this live. Its trouble is at the moment you never know when to do it, because everybody's doing a live here and there, and I certainly don't want to tread on anybody else's shoes. But thanks for joining me. I thought I'd give it a try tonight, just quickly before I hit the hay for to early start tomorrow. But listen, appreciate everybody joining in. Thank you, one and all. You're over in March, Marie. That's brilliant. What dates? Because Anne Marie, David, Anne, and I are over round about the same. Well, we are there the same time as well. That would be brilliant. You'll be doing some videos in Great Yarmouth, Prash. Oh, my mum would love that. I'm trying to actually talk my mum into coming to Tenerife with Anne and I, but she's a bit reluctant. Thanks, Prash. Appreciate that. Thank you, Scott, for your kind words, and all the best with your channel. I'm sure you'll get there. As I said earlier on, when I had about 20 odd subscribers for months on end, I thought we'd never get there. But as I say, today it's up to 825. So appreciate everybody that's subscribed. No, I haven't seen the bottle you gave Tim, Prash, but I will ask Tim about it next time he WhatsApps me, because I've got Webby on every 2 minutes. Because I don't know if you know, um, I've been trying to do some vlogs from the construction of the Open, and the RNA have been a wee bit control freaks, for want of a better word, and they've stopped me doing it. But so what I'm doing is I'm doing it actually just as Webby's Roving Reporter and putting it on Webby's channel. Thanks, David. Appreciate it. Listen, I'm gonna wind up tonight because I've got a couple of things I need to do regarding emails. But thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. And for a first live, I hope it's gone okay. As I say, it's kind of funny doing this when there's no reaction coming back to you, because I do loads of Zoom calls and things like that, but nothing like this. So thank you so much for joining me. I really, really appreciate everybody that's taken the time and effort. And hopefully, we'll be able to schedule that when the weather's a bit better and we can get out and about and show you a wee bit of the countryside round about the house here. But anyway, I'm going to love you and leave you, everybody. Thanks so much. And thanks to everybody that joined in and all your questions and comments. It's really appreciated. That's great. Thank you. Thank you, Prash. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Okay, everybody, good night. Thanks for joining in, and we'll see you on the next one, hopefully in the not too distant future. Bye for now.